ever experienced any form of bullying, unfair treatment, or discrimination?
Oh my God. I face that every single day. Have you seen my color?
Yes, I have.
Okay, growing up, I faced a lot of bullying because I am small sized. So I am a 5'3", 5'4", thereabouts. The size that people will say short, but I do not see myself as short because I am great inside. So right from school, I'm usually like the smallest person in the class, the smallest person in any space I find myself in. So people always, always, always would bully me. So growing up, I experienced a lot of bullying, and I think that's what really made me a very expressive person because I would say that strength wise, they would win, but word wise, I would win. So I always used to use my words to protect myself, to defend myself. I grew up always defending myself from bullies. So it's something I experienced growing up, and I feel like it made me a stronger person because I'm constant, like every day in school, you would have someone pulling your hair, someone telling you, oh, you're too small. It's a constant thing that I had to face growing up. And I feel like right now, I feel like it was an advantage because I don't think I would have been this expressive if I wasn't bullied growing up. I'm not saying bullying is a good thing, but the thing is, changing whatever negativity that comes your way and, transforming it into a positivity. If someone is doing something negative to you, yeah, we know it's bad, it's horrible, but you have to move away from that negativity and see how you can turn it for your own good, which is what I did. I was always defending myself with my words, and then it made me a speaker and a writer. And I'm thankful to all those bullies, from high school. That was one of the unfair treatment that I received. Another unfair treatment that I am currently receiving is, should I say it? Well, I would say it because I believe that you also would have experienced something similar, and that is rejection based on ethnicity and immigration status. I didn't face this when I was in Nigeria because I relocated to the UK about 3 years ago. So when I was back home in Nigeria, I didn't face it because everybody looked like me, right? So being here in England, where you're most likely the only person or one of a few persons that look the way you look, there's just this, rejection like this person doesn't belong here. Why are you even here? Things like that. I face that all the time. So I mentioned that I studied in University of Hull, and in my class we're about 55 students in class, and about 35 of us were Nigerians. Yes, more than half of the class we were Nigerians. And it was amazing when you walk into the class, there's a split. All the people who look like me are seated on one side, and all the people who look like the other people are seated on the other side. There's a clear divide in class. And I used to be like, aren't we all here for the same thing? Why is there a segregation? Why are some people seated this way with some people? I just didn't make sense of it. But then it shocked me. The most very clear scenario that happened was actually on our last day in class. The lecturer said we should all go outside and take a group photo. It's the last day in school. We're all graduating. Let's all go outside and take a picture. Oh my God. We all went outside, one class, and the moment we go outside, in like few seconds, there was a divide, two groups. One set of people were just taking pictures with themselves. And we were like, okay, we'll have to take our pictures with ourselves. So my class last day graduation picture, I only have people that look like me in that picture. Meanwhile, the class was made up of people of all colors. So it's something that I faced in school. It was my first time facing that kind of rejection. Like I said, back home, everybody looks like me, so I didn't have to worry about, things like racism, ethnicity, and all of that stuff. But it just made me realize that I feel like ignorance plays a huge role in, treating people differently based on how they look or based on, where they're from. I feel like ignorance plays a very huge role. And if only we can understand that in God's eyes, we're all the same. We're all the same, to be honest. We have the same soul. We have the same color of blood that flows. I cut myself and it bleeds red. they cut themselves, it also bleeds red. So if everyone is exposed to that knowledge, to know that at the end of the day, we're all one race, which is the human race, then it will all make sense. People wouldn't, face some kind of unnecessary, unfair treatment that they face. But like I said, whatever it is that young people face, it's not about what you're facing, it's about how you handle it and how you move forward from it. Right now, I don't care. If you think I'm green, then that's your problem. I will keep doing what I need to do and I'll just keep striving and winning. We're just all humans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for that, AJ. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. And I'm really sorry to hear about
it's
those.
okay.
And I wanted to know, how did those experiences of feeling rejection based on immigration status, your ethnicity, seeing that clear segregation and divide in your classroom, and back to as a young girl being picked on for your size, for your height. How did those experiences make you feel? Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Please take a moment to leave a comment sharing how the episode has had an impact on you. And smash that subscribe button right now to get the algorithm going so that more young people can be inspired.
When I was younger, in terms of bullying in class, okay, so two things they bullied me on. One of it was my nose. If you notice, is a little bit, the shape is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's beautiful. So I used to be picked on two things. I used to be picked on based on my height, and I also used to be picked on based on the size of my nose. They say, "Oh, your nose is so big, you're inhaling all of the oxygen in the room." So the first few times, it used to be really hurtful. I feel like my siblings at home also said that to me about my nose. So, of course, as a child, I would cry because I was still trying to understand myself. I was still growing. I didn't have so much self-awareness. So whenever someone would say those words to me, the first thing I would do, of course, is to cry. And then as I grew older and became more aware of myself, I noticed for the height, I noticed that my self-worth wasn't tied to how tall or how short I was, because I also noticed I knew a lot of tall people that were not that sensible. So when someone says, "Oh, I'm short, my height," I tell them, I think you use all of your sense to grow tall. I would always give them a comeback. And I'm not saying that's the best way to handle bullies, but it's just a way to put them in their place, right? Life is not all about how tall you are and all of that. It's not about the container, it's about the content. So for me, I understood quickly while growing up. By the time before I even got to, my teenage years, I quickly understood that my worth was in my content, not necessarily my container. And then, of course, aside the nose and the height, I have a lot of amazing features. So whenever they picked on the features they thought they didn't like, I would always tell them the amazing features that I have. Well, I'm not about to stand up, but I do have an hourglass figure. So let's not go into that. So yes, and I would, not to make them feel bad, but I will always also point out something that is, not so cool with them. That's not the best way to go about it, but when you're in the early stages of trying to protect yourself from bullies, sometimes those are, the things that you will resort to. But of course, as you grow older, you will care less about what they say in terms of bullying, and you will just focus on yourself. So for me, what that has made me, to grow into is to be more confident in myself. So, regardless of what they say, I know that they see me just a few seconds in a day. I see myself every day. I'm with myself 24 hours a day. So, I know myself better than anyone else does. So, I would rather take my opinion about what I look like than what someone else is saying about me. So, if young people are able to get to that point where they're comfortable with themselves, comfortable with their body, comfortable with every part of themselves, and appreciating it, then those words wouldn't do much to you, to be honest. But in the first stages, it would hurt you. I cried a lot of times, but then I grew bigger. I just decided, you know what, these talks, they're not worth it. I know myself, and I'm cute. I'm so cute.